Hey guys, it's appleminte. Welcome back again to my channel. Yes, I'm loving this shirt a lot, so I wore it again for today's video, so do not judge me because this is what I want to wear. Anyway, for today's video, it is a very much requested topic. A lot of you guys ask me what to do when you hit a moment of art block or when you just don't know what to draw. I hit this literally all the time, and so I can relate, and I have a bunch of tips that are some things that I do when I don't know what to draw or I need some extra inspiration. So without any more, I always feel weird saying further ado. It just sounds like, I don't know. Is it just me? But then I don't know what else to say. I'm just like, without further waitingness. You guys get what I'm trying to say. Let's just get right into the video. So in today's video, I will be talking a bit about how to find your inspiration when you're drawing, or how to figure out what to draw when you have no clue what to draw. Maybe you're art blocked. This is my 5 tips or things that I would do if I am completely art blocked and have no clue what to draw. And believe me, it has happened tons of times to me, and it is very annoying when it happens, when you're sitting there and you really want to draw something but you literally have no clue where to start. You start sketching things, everything you draw you hate, and then you just throw it aside and don't come back to it for a few days. Like, I get it. I've been there many times. And these are just my 5 tips. I've broken them up into some tips that might be a little bit better understood, and I'm just gonna get right into them. So tip number 1 is a good place to start is to just sketch completely randomly. You know, you can even scribble lines on a page and they might end up looking like something that you're like, oh, wait a minute, that kind of looks like a cat. Oh, I want to draw a cat. Oh, wait, I want to draw a cat in a cafe. Or what if I, like it might lead to other ideas. But also just sketch random things. Look outside your window, go online, look at things around you, sketch random things like random people or random outfits. Don't be afraid to be super messy, because that's what sketching is for. It's just to get your ideas down. And since this is just a sketch dump, if you will, it's just to kind of get ideas flowing in your mind. So you might have a ton of hit and miss ideas, and that's completely fine. That's what this step is for. It's just to start getting the creative juices flowing, because with this step, you might draw something or sketch something that there's an aspect about it that you like, or the topic of it you like you start drawing wings and you're like, hey, maybe I could draw a fairy. Maybe I could go into making like a whole, outdoor scene or something, and it'll start from a simple little idea from there that maybe you wouldn't have gotten if you were just sitting there staring at your paper. So tip number 2, this is something that I've done a lot, and that's to listen to music. Listening to music definitely evokes emotions depending on the type of song you're listening to, and artwork is very emotional in general. You can tie different emotions to different pieces of artwork. You can have a very sad, dreary type of artwork as you're listening to some really sad music, or you might be listening to something that's really upbeat and pop and it makes you want to draw this really bouncy animated pose. Basically, whenever I don't know what to draw, this is one of my go-tos. I'll sit, put some music on that I like, and just feel what comes to mind. And it's a hard process to explain. You'll just know something once the emotion kind of comes to mind. Some other types of themes or things you'll want to draw, they just kind of come to you. At least that's how it works for me. I'll just try to start sketching while listening to music. So maybe, combining 1 and 2 together, and you're listening to music, maybe it's super upbeat, you're sketching a bunch of random things that are upbeat based on what you're listening to, and then you come to a drawing or something that you want to work on, and you're continuing to listen to this music, which just continues to motivate you throughout the drawing. That's at least my experience with it. So I always like to share that tip of music, because music always helps me, and I definitely don't think you should pass up the opportunity to just browse a few playlists or something on YouTube if you're really blocked and don't know what to draw. Tip number 3 is really helpful as well. This is to look at prompts online. And everybody knows about Inktober. If you don't, Inktober once a year for the whole month of October. There's usually a few different ones, but there's always an official list of prompts, and every day of the month you draw something in just ink based on one of those prompts. That month in particular is very helpful for artists because there's all of these prompts circling online. People make it a challenge for themselves to do one drawing a day, and it takes out the stress of what should I draw today? You know, sometimes it'll just give you a one-word thing. It'll be mermaid, and then, you know, maybe day number 2 will be witch, and day number 3 will be fairy. You'll have a bunch of different words or prompts, or you might have like different emotions written on there, you know. And so having those prompts, it's kind of like somebody cherry picked a bunch of words for you, and you can challenge yourself to come up with something based on that theme or that word. And so that takes a little bit of the what should I do right now feeling out of it, because you've got a list of prompts and maybe you want to pick one from that list, or maybe you want to do a daily drawing prompt, and from that daily drawing prompt, as you draw every day based on those prompts, you'll, you know, start to figure you're getting your creative juices back, or your flow is coming back because you're drawing more often. So this is definitely something that shouldn't be forgotten, because prompts can have super good ideas within them, or they can really prompt you. I mean, that's why they're called prompts. Prompt you to come up with something cool based on one of the words you see in there. So they're everywhere. There's not always just one official prompt or list. There's tons of them online, so definitely just search art prompts or drawing prompts and you might find something really cool. Tip number 4 is a little bit more abstract, and that is to start with a random color or color palette. This is kind of like the music one, where, you know, music evokes different emotions and things like that. Colors can kind of do the same thing. You can have colors tied to a certain theme. Like, say you sit down and you say, I want to use the colors, I don't know, I like the colors pink, purple, and white. I want to sit down and draw something. And you're sitting there, you have no clue what to draw, but you know you want to use these colors. And then it kind of, you kind of think of things that could work with this color palette, and you think, oh, I want to draw a unicorn, or I want to draw some kind of, you know, ethereal, magical theme, and then that leads you to what you actually want to draw, and you come up with something really cool. It could be anything like that. You'd say, oh, I want to use the color blue, and then you think, okay, blue reminds me of the ocean. Okay, the ocean reminds me of, you know, and so or so on, and that's a little bit more abstract because, you know, it sounds simple. You're just picking a color or a few colors, and it could really turn into something cool. And also, once you have the colors picked out, that's the hard part sometimes. So definitely don't forget about just choosing a color. Just because it's a later step in the process doesn't mean you can't start there first and work backwards a little bit. So tip number 4, start with color/color palette. And then my last tip number 5, is to just browse online, browse social media. This, along with listening to music, is one of my go-tos when I'm very blocked and have no clue what to draw. Because just browsing the internet for inspiration can be very helpful, because, you know, say I open up Instagram and I have no clue what to draw, but I'm scrolling down my feed, and then I see a theme or a topic that I really like, or I see something that somebody else drew based on another theme. Like, I don't know, I'm going to use the theme like I did last in a previous video where I drew the mushroom fairy forest. That came from me just browsing through Instagram, and I saw a bunch of plant images and drawings or plant themed things, and I thought to myself, oh, what kind of plants could I draw, or what kind of plants would I want to incorporate if I did it in a drawing? And I settled on mushrooms, and then I thought, you know, mushrooms kind of remind me of a little like mushroom grotto / like ethereal little forest, and then I thought of a fairy to add in there, and became a whole scene. And that all came from me literally having zero idea what I wanted to draw, but knowing that I really wanted to sit down and draw something. So scrolling through any kind of social media, or maybe even just watching YouTube videos, whatever it might be, watching TV, that might give you an idea or spark something that you wouldn't have just thought of sitting there staring at your paper. So those are my 5 tips on how to find inspiration, or some of the things that I do when I have literally no idea what to draw and I need some inspiration. I hope you guys find at least one of these helpful. And I know some of them might sound simple, but they are super helpful, honestly. You know, like I said, my go-to is listening to music and browsing social media, and I would say about like 90% of the time I'm able to come up with something when I wasn't before, just by doing some of these things.
So if this was helpful to you, or if there was something in here you have a question about, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'll try to answer your questions as best as I can, as I see them. Definitely upvote the ones that you have more questions on, or you're definitely upvote the ones that you share a similar question with, you want me to see. Upvote that and I'll have a better chance of seeing it and answering it. So now on to my final thoughts.
So guys, those are my 5 tips on where to find some inspiration when you don't know what to draw. I hope it helped you in some way. If it did, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you already do any of these things that I mentioned. Hopefully they're helpful to you, even if you just try one of them, and they can get your creative juices flowing more easily. Anyway, I have all of my links in the description box below. I've got the link to my online shop where you can find my prints, charms, pins, everything that I create is down there. However, it is on hold until the end of August, since I've got to do some inventory and things like that, so it's just on pause for now. I also have the link to my Instagram account where you can follow me to see all of my artwork and everything like that, and things that I don't always post here on the channel, so go check that out if you're interested. Again, let me know if any of these things helped you out, and also let me know if there's anything that I didn't mention that you guys do when you need some inspiration, because maybe somebody else will want to talk about that or will want to know it. So just post it in the comments below. Let's just make a artist friendship sharing circle. Yeah, that sounds pretty great, doesn't it? Anyway, I'll see you guys all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching and have a beautiful day. Bye bye!